So good morning, one and all. I am not expecting all of you to answer because all of you are muted. In fact, I'll be muted shortly. So once upon a time, BC, before Corona, life was so different. And we were all happy in our own comfort zones. And now, till the time, we have been introduced to that mighty COVID, which has halted our super fast journey. Now we have time to pause, sit, reflect, and see what is happening around. And now the situation, once we know that it is going to stay for much longer period than expected. So we need to reboot ourselves. And I would suggest e-way is the only option. So today's workshop is a step in that direction. And for this workshop, I request Dr. Preetam, coordinator IQAC, to kindly share her thoughts for a minute so that we can start with the session.
Yes. Respected, thank you very much, Dr. Jaspreet. Respected Dr. Professor Rakesh Kumar ji, Vice Principal of GCG, staff council members, most respected guest speaker of today's session, Dr. Tejendra Pal Singh ji, and my dear fellow colleagues. I am really thrilled actually. I welcome you all. I'm so excited to see you all after so many days. So even I can't hear you, but ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ waves, I can feel those vibes, एक खुशी वाली और सब दे चेहरे देख रही हैं, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। मैं सिर्फ एक कह रही हूँ कि 2 साल तो मेरी ये कोशिश चल रही सी कि भी मैं LMS ਨੂੰ अपना कॉलेज ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ इंट्रोड्यूस करा, थोड़ा करके बेबी स्टेप्स लिते भी जा रहे सीगे, बट अब एकदम हालात ने इन्ना जोरदार झटका दिता है कि ਅਸੀਂ फटाफट एक लॉन्ग स्टेप ਅਸੀਂ चुक रहे हैं। एंड साडे GCG हिस्ट्री ਦਾ मैं ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ कि ਅੱਜ ਇਹ हमेशा this date will be will be a red letter day in fact ताकि क्योंकि ਆਪਾਂ कुछ थोड़े ਜਿਹੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੈਜ਼ਿਟੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ, ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਕੁਝ ਮਿਥਸ ਵੀ ਸੀ, ਸਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਾਊਟਸ ਵੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਿ ਹਾਊ ਟੂ ਗੋ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਵੈਦਰ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਓਕੇ অর ਨਾਟ। ਨੈਕ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦੀ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਟੇਰੀਅਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੈਕ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ AQAR ਜਦੋਂ ਲਿਖੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ LMS, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਸੱਚੀ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਦੇ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਪਰ ਅੱਜ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਨਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ, ਮਤਲਬ ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ ਫੀਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਇਨਫੈਕਟ ਆਈ ਵਿਲ ਸੇ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਲਿਖਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ LMS ਦਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬੇਬੀ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਵਾਈ ਨਾਟ, ਸਾਡੇ ਕੰਪਿਊਟਰ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ PG ਲੈਵਲ ਤੱਕ ਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ। बट चलो देर आए दुरुस्त आए। ਤੇ LMS ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਏ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਇਫ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਨਾਟ ਰੋਂਗ ਲੇਟ 90s ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਵੇ ਅਹੈਡ ਆਫ ਅਸ। ਪਰ ਕਾਫੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਇੰਸਟੀਟਿਊਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੈ, ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕੋਈ 5 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਇਨਫੈਕਟ ਕਵਾਂਗੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਪਕੜੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਾਲਜ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਰਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਜੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਟੈਪ ਹੈ, ਪਹਿਲਾ ਰਸਤਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਇੰਨੇ ਅੱਛੇ ਅੱਜ ਰਿਸੋਰਸ ਪਰਸਨ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਏ ਆ, ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆਏ ਆ। ਵੀ ਆਰ ਫੀਲਿੰਗ ਸੋ ਲੱਕੀ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ ਤੇ ਸਕਸੈਸ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਦਿਖਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। LMS एक्चुअली जरूरत बहुत हो गई है क्योंकि देखो लर्निंग कंटेंट ऐसे सिलेबस ਜਦੋਂ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨੈਕ ਦੇ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਆਫ View ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੁਝ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਅੰਡਰ ਗ੍ਰੈਜੂਏਟ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਕਰਨੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਇਹ ਆਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਸਿਲੇਬਸ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਕਵਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਤੇ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀਜ਼ ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਇੰਨੇ ਥੋੜੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰੀਏ। ਫॉर ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਔਡ ਸਮੈਸਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਯੂਥ ਫੈਸਟੀਵਲ ਹੀ ਸਾਡੇ 2-3 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਵਾਲਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ LMS ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਚੱਲ ਪਏ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਆ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਇਟ ਵਿਲ ਹੈਲਪ ਅਸ ਅ ਲੋਟ। ਦੂਸਰਾ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਯੂ نو ਫॉर देयर ਮੇਕਅਪ ਕਿ ਕਲਾਸਿਸ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਰੋਲ ਅਦਾ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਯੂ نو ਵੈਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਲੇਬਸ ਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਚੋਂ ਕੱਢ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਨਾਟ ਟੂ ਕਵਰ ਦਾ ਸਿਲੇਬਸ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਟੂ ਅਨਕਵਰ ਦਾ ਸਿਲੇਬਸ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਅਨਕਵਰ ਦਾ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਰਾਹ ਤੇ ਚੱਲਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆਉਣਗੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਔਰ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਐਡਵਾਂਸਡ ਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਤੇ then we can go for the different types of assignments different types of projects over that so that knowledge ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ knowledge ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਕੁਇਜ਼ਿਟ ਯੂ نو knowledge acquisition ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜਦਕਿ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ knowledge constructor ਆਪਾਂ knowledge construct ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਨੈਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਐਸਾ ਦੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਆਏਗੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਟਰਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਬਣ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਅੱਗੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਜਾਏਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਮਿਥ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟੀਚਰ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਇਹ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਨੇ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਕਾਲਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਲੈਣਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਲੈ ਲਓਗੇ ਮਾਈ ਡੀਅਰ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ this is not that IP intellectual property ਬਸ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਲੈਕਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਮਾਨਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਟਿਵ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਸਿਖਾਉਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ that is the sharing basis you think it you share it ਔਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੋਆਪਰੇਟਿਵ ਲਰਨਿੰਗ ਕੋਲੈਬੋਰੇਟਿਵ ਲਰਨਿੰਗ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਟਿਵ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਪ ਦੀ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਪ ਦੀ ਜੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਚਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ then they stop sharing the knowledge ਜਦਕਿ knowledge ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ sharing level ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਿਰਫ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਸੀ ਸ਼ਿੱਦਤ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇਗਾ ਕਿ ਲਾਈਵ ਕਲਾਸਰੂਮ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਲੈਂਡਡ ਟੀਚਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ ਪਾਣਾ ਹੈ ਰਿਕਾਰਡਡ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਇਵਨ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੈਸ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਸਮਾਰਟਫੋਨ ਮਨਾ ਨਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਾਰਟਫੋਨ ਦੇ ਯੂਜ਼ਸ ਵੱਲ ਪਾਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਛੇ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਵੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਜਾਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਐਨਸੀ ਚੇਤਨਾ ਜਾਗਦੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਲਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਕਸਪੈਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਆ ਵਨ ਮਾਈਸੈਲਫ ਅਨਦਰ ਇਜ਼ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜਸਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਲਾਸਰੂਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੁਇਜ਼ ਜਦੋਂ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਓਕੇ ਟੇਕ ਆਊਟ ਯੂਰ ਸਮਾਰਟਫੋਨਸ ਔਰ ਕਰੋ ਔਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਫੁੱਲ ਫਲੈਸ਼ਡ ਅਟੈਂਡੈਂਸ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਗੇਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਗੇਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਐਕਵਾਇਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਖਿੱਚ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਵਿਰਾਮ ਦਿੰਨੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਟੇਕਿੰਗ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਆਫ ਟਾਈਮ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਦਿਨ ਵੀ ਬੋਲਦੀ ਰਵਾਂ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਘੱਟ ਪੈ ਜਾਏ ਤੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਤਜਿੰਦਰ ਸਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜਸਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਉਹ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਰੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰੇ ਸੋ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜਸਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਓਵਰ ਟੂ ਯੂ
Yes, beautiful morning everyone again, and I hope now we are all charged up. And before starting this session, I will take just a minute to introduce the speaker. The speaker for today is Dr. Tajinder Pal Singh. He is Associate Professor, University Business School, Punjab University, Chandigarh. And he's Editor-in-Chief, International Journal of Marketing of Business Communication. He's a certified professional trainer of qualitative data analysis. Then he's post UGC MOOCs and Swayam Digital Marketing. And let me just elaborate, just want to take a little bit of time. His teaching and research interests are digital marketing, data analytics, and then qualitative research. His educational qualifications, as you can see, it is shared on the screen. His MCom, PhD, and then CAIIB. He has a teaching experience of 14 years and 5 months, and with some industry experience also. He has so many awards and fellowships to his credit. And dear friends, he is a gem which we have found. His credentials are, so big we feel that we know nothing. And he has done so many research projects which were funded by various organizations. He has a rich editorial contribution, and then he has 10 papers published in books, and then 25 papers published in journals, and he has 36 presented papers and lectures delivered, and he has acted as resource person in various workshops. And I am a proud student of his one of the workshop which he very successfully conducted. So sir, without taking much time, because your CV is so big, we are going to take a lot of time, and we would like to learn a lot from your expertise. So over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, first of all, for inviting me to this wonderful day and the webinar which you are organizing on the e-learning and e-content, which is very relevant in the present time. So I would say that before the beginning, that yes, as ma'am already said, Professor Jaspreet Kaur, that all these things happen suddenly. Because we never thought about that one day we all are online classes. We have to switch it to the online mode. So anyhow, we started working on just hit and trial method by getting some help from friends or from YouTube videos. And we just decided to, or we just started delivering our content in the online mode. What my experience says that most of the teachers, don't take it negatively, most of the teachers, they were hesitant. First of all, they were hesitant when they were coming to the online classes or for the recording of the videos. So I always say one thing, that just think for a while, that if someone, I'm live interacting with you, and I ask someone that please come here and play Kathak. If I like this one, I identify one person and I simply ask that, okay, come here and perform a Kathak dance here. Now see what will be the situation in this case. Situation will be very simple, that the person never learned about that how to perform a Kathak dance. So you will see he will feel some sort of guilty and some sort of hesitation will be there. But I say we should not feel guilty, we should not be hesitant, because we haven't learned these kind of things. Because the Kathak dance, if I haven't learned, so how can I perform a Kathak dance? So similarly, same thing is happening with our online scenario, that if we haven't learned about, we are not trained about that how to teach online, then there is no matter of feeling the guilty or ashamed that why can't I go for this one. Now online teaching is just a matter of learning only. You will see just you. I am sure that after the workshop, most of the things will be covered and you will be able to start your online teaching without any hesitation. So it is just forget about all hesitations, guilties, and just start this workshop from this point of view, that we have to learn, because that is the only key of just to switch to the online learning here. And another important thing is there, that online learning is not going to be there for all the times. Ultimately, we have to come back to our classes, and you will see when we will come back to our traditional classes, you will see it will help us a lot. Whatever I'm learning today for the online teaching, it is not that once I will switch to the traditional classes, then it has no use. It is going to be there. It has use in our traditional classes as well, which we are calling generally the blended learning. You will learn during my session there. Okay, so once again, thank you so much for inviting me. Now let me just formally start my session here. Let me just share my screen, and I just want confirmation from Jaspreet ma'am that whether it is visible, so that we can start the session.
Yes, it is visible, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So I have focused on this one, that let us say we know nothing about online teaching. It is a very bold step that we have to accept it, that we know nothing about online teaching, and tomorrow it is just required from me that you go there and teach online there. So I will start from that point of view, that we have no idea about from where to start, how to start. So that way I will start from scratch. So what we are just covering in these two sessions, first I will talk about that what are the important components of online teaching, which every teacher must know, because without these components you can't go for online teaching. Then what are the available tools which will assist us, which will facilitate us to create or generate our e-content in a better form. Lastly, we have some hands-on practice with the important tools simultaneously. Okay, now I consider that there are only 4 components of online teaching if we want to become an effective online teaching. I'm saying we are already effective. You don't think that we already are expert in our subjects. Just it's a kind of a skill that we have to acquire, and then we will be also effective in the online teaching as well. So just take care of these 4 important components that we are going to discuss in detail in today's session. The first one, as ma'am already, Dr. Preetam Kaur already talked about LMS. This is the very first and the backbone of our entire online system here. Without LMS, you can't even think about that I will go online and I can teach the online classes. I will talk about it in detail, and I will demonstrate one LMS as well, so that you can use it. Second is the video recording and the e-content or e-text. That is another important component of online teaching. Then we have the live classes or interactivity, as we are now connected, how to utilize such type of platforms for our classes. And lastly, I will talk about engagement and assessment, which is again very important one, because in our classes, in our physical classes, we have learned that how to engage the students, because we are face to face. But in case of online scenario, we are not face to face. Now again, it's a real challenge that how to engage and how to assess the student in virtual environment. So let us talk about one by one or for each steps. First is the learning management system. As I said, it is the backbone of our system, all online education system. Now think for a while that when suddenly we were asked to teach online, that what happened, that we started whatever was available, like we started sharing our notes on WhatsApp, we started sharing our notes on, you can say, emails, or whatever platform was available with us. So we used that platform. But there was a disadvantage of such type of approach, that our content was not organized in a proper way. If I ask you, let us say, if I ask you in the next session that let us search for what we shared last year on the last session, I think it will be impossible for you to find out what were my last year's handout, what I shared with the students, how many students viewed this content or not, because that is gone. I think even today during this lockdown, you can see there are so many messages on WhatsApp, and even it is difficult to find out the yesterday's message if we are in a very active group here. The same thing is happening here. We are just throwing the content to the students, but it was not any organized manner that we can say. Now, what is LMS? LMS is just shifting your traditional class to the virtual class. It is just like a class where you will open your class, you will enter to the class, you will see your students are there, your material is there, and or assignment, quizzes, everything is available in this single platform. Meaning it's a kind of a website. You just log into this website. Everything related to your class will be available in this LMS. And for any year, it will become your property. For the coming year, for the 10 year, after 20 years, you want to see, you want to identify any student, you want to identify any resource from this one, it is going to be there. So it means first year, I have to work hard a little bit just to organize my class. And you will see next year, everything is available there. You have to just make it on, and that will be visible to the students. So here, your teacher and the students are available on the given LMS. Let us talk a little bit more about this one. What is this LMS? It is, as I said, it is a platform for the teachers where you can create your classes, courses in the virtual mode. And all the students will register on this platform. and then you will start communication, you will start sharing the class content with the students. And these are the things which a teacher can do with the LMS. You just name it in the physical class, and I will tell you that yes, it is available, it is possible in the online platform and the LMS form. You can organize your class topic wise, unit wise. You can add the material reading to each of the topics. You can create the assignments for the students. You can evaluate the assignments on this platform only. There is no paperwork is required. The assignment will be visible before you, and you have to just evaluate there and send it back to the students. So you can create the quizzes, assessments. You can start the discussion forum. Let us any queries there. Other students can help. You can help in this one, and you can have the final gradings of the students as well. And most important, lastly, you can have the communication with the class. Any class related communication you want, you will share it with one message, and that will go to the all the students, those who are there. Now question comes that which LMS I should use, from where these LMS are available. Now see here in the market, 100 of LMS are available. Nowadays it's a business kind of things. But we need not to we need not to spend even a single penny on LMS. The LMS which we are going to talk about, it is totally free, because Google has offered us virtually most of the things free of the cost, and they are working hard for the education as well. And they have provided very excellent, you can say, LMS for our education system. I think most of you might be knowing about it. You might have heard about this one, that it's a Google Classroom. So Google Classroom, I always recommend. It is very easy to learn, very easy to organize your classes, and you need not to pay anything to the Google if you want to use this platform. Yeah? So every teacher can create his account, can create the classes on this very platform. Now, why Google Classroom is there? It is LMS. This is what I said, what you can do on the Google Classroom, and we will practically see that what a teacher can do on this one. And another important thing is here about the Google Classroom, that it is integrated. It integrates with your Gmail, Google Slides, whatever product Google has, it integrates with that one. It will integrate with my Gmail. Whenever I send any communication material to the students, a mail will go to the student, and they will be able to see that, okay, today a teacher has shared some sort of material on the LMS. And similarly, if any assignment is there, that message will also go to the student. Meaning students don't have any excuse that we miss the communication. The moment you will upload, the message will directly go to the students, and they have to open it, and they have to attempt for the assignment. Now it is why, as I said, it is free for teachers and students. It is easy to learn. It is a collaborative tools. I will talk about what is a collaborative tool, and it integrates with all other Google tools which are right now available in the form of Google Drive, Forms, calendars, and other kind of things. Now, before we start, from where should I start? If I want to work in the Google Classroom, then what is required? Nothing. I think a teacher must have Gmail ID. I think which 90% of us are using the Gmail ID only. All the students, they must have Gmail ID. Obviously, they will be using. If not, you can ask them to create their Gmail IDs, right? And these are the only two things that are required to start with the Google Classroom. Okay, so now I will directly go to our, you can say, demonstration version. There I will show you each and every step of Google Classroom, that how to add the material and all other kind of things here. So for this purpose, you have to just go to this URL, classroom.google.com. Let me just open my browser, and let me just go to Google Classroom. If your Gmail ID is there with you, so you can simply just log into the Google Classroom. And the first time you will see, when first time you are logging there, so it will ask for a few of the permissions there, and a few more formalities there. Just fill those formalities, and you will just get your platform for the Google Classroom. Now see here, this is my very simple and clean dashboard of Google Classroom. I have already 2 dummy classes here, but in your case, you will not find any class because you haven't created any class. And another important thing here the class means your subject. If you are teaching 2 subjects, you have to create 2 separate classes for each of the subject. That is the meaning of the class here, right? So what you have to do, first thing, the first step, that I have to create a class of a respective subject which I'm teaching or I'm going to teach here. Now see here, you can see on my right hand side here at the top, we have this plus button here. This plus button is there, and it has two options. One option is to join the class, and second option is to create the class. So join the class, obviously it is meant for the students. For the teachers, this option is more relevant, create a class. Now we have to simply click on create the class, and some sort of policy acceptance it will ask you. Just check this option and click on continue. Now see here, this is a basic information I have to just fill out here as far as my class is concerned. So you can just give the name of your subject, but I'm just, for identification purpose, I am naming it as Workshop Ludhiana. This is my class. Okay? You can give any section. All these things are optional. Here it is my subject. Yes, I will just digital marketing is my subject for this one. Okay? Room is optional. Nothing. You have to simply click on create. It is simple step. You have to provide only name of the class and the name of the subject and click on create. Now it will take a moment, and your class will be ready. You are ready to work with this class. Now whatever you want, I will tell you what options are available in the Google Classroom. But let it first create the class for me, because it has to create few folders, files in the backend. That is why it is taking the time here. But now, yes, it has created my class for me, and you can see this is the name of my class section, and a few more options are here. Let me talk about these options. First thing you will see at the top, make note of these 4 options here. Each tab has its own significance. This is the first is the stream. Then we have the classwork, people, and the marks. Let me talk about each one. First option is the stream. Now stream, try to understand that it's a notice board of your college, notice board of your class here. Whatever announcement, whatever message you want to place here, that will be visible to your students at this place. Means that whenever first time in the future, whenever you will first time log into your class, this will be the page that will appear to you as a teacher and to your students. And anything is happening in my class, that will be visible here in the notice form. For example, I want to create a welcome message for the student. You see here, share something with the class. I want to just create a welcome message with the student. Let me just welcome my student, right? And click on post. And this message will appear here, and it will be visible to my students. Now, at this stream stage, you can have 2 types of messages. One are created by me or created by the students. And the second message are the automatic message. Automatic message means you uploaded one assignment, that message will flash here. You uploaded some content, that message will flash here, that okay, at this time you have uploaded one assignment or any content to this one. So it is important, just information point of view, that your student will get every update on this page, that what is happening in your class. And you can also see on this side few upcoming events. Let us say any assignment is due, that date will flash here, that okay, by which time your assignment is due. Yeah? And any evaluation is due, that will also be visible at this stage. Okay, so and you can see this one, this color or this background, you want to customize it, you can also customize it. And you can see here, you can select the theme, or you can upload your photo of the college, or anything you can just change from here. Let me see, I want to change the theme of this class. Just select this one, and you can make it more attractive and more beautiful, so that student like it, because the student, we know that if the class is clean and looking beautiful, that yes, they will love to come to the class itself. Okay, so this one, and something is here, I will talk about it. Just forget about this one. This is very important code, but no, I'm not talking about this one. I will come back and I will talk about this, what this is. Okay, so now we have understood the first phase of our stream, first tab of this classroom. Now go to the second tab. What is the second tab? Is the classwork. Now this is the place where everything will happen related to your class. What usually we do, when we teaching in the offline mode, we share the material with the students. We create the assignments. We can create the quizzes. So everything related to the class work that will happen here. As of now, nothing is here. Now I will suggest you that how you should organize your class. So I always recommend that don't just start putting the material, one file, second file, third file. First of all, just try to convert your classes into different topics, so that we can make it more organized and more beautiful. Convert your all the curriculum or all the syllabi into the topics of the class. Right? So, and the very first thing that we have to do here, we have to create the topics for the class. Let us say for my class 15 topics are there. Yes, first I will just list down, I will create those topics only. I'm not entering the material right now. First, let us create the topics. So you can see here, yes, I use the word create, and create option is there, plus sign, and you will see different options are there. But from where I will create the topic, you will see the last option is here, create a topic. So this is the first, though it is given here in the last, but you have to use it first. Click on this topic, and yes, we have to add the name of the topic here. My topic 1, let us say intro to, I'm just very brief writing so that we can save the time. Intro to digital marketing, and click on add, and you will see my topic is ready here. Let me create one more topic so that we can insert some sort of material here. This is my topic 2. Let us say SEO, search engine optimization. This is added here. Okay. So you can see I have created first topic, 2 topic, but I can see, and you can see one problem is here, that my topic should be at the top. It should be at the second. So actually any new topic, it always comes at a topic at the top in the Google Classroom. But you can easily shuffle. You can easily just drag and drop, and you can make the proper order of your topic. You can just select. You see, the moment I'm taking my cursor here, something is happening, something is popping up a little bit. When it will pop up, you have to just drag and drop it to the top. Now see here, it is in the order now. So just by dragging and dropping to the topic to the any place, you can just place, you can make the proper placement of the topic 1, 2, 3, 4 accordingly. Okay, so this way we will create our 15-20 topics for the class, because we want to be very specific that what is related to this very topic, what content, what assignment is there, so that we can define under each topic here. Okay, now once the topics are created, now what will be the next stage? Now we have to add some sort of material. Now again, I will say that, okay, whatever you are doing here, it is not visible to your students. Because until or unless I'm satisfied that everything is okay, only then it will be visible. Right now, I can make my class at the back end, right? Okay, so just to add the material to the topics, what will be the process? Again, go back to the create, go to the create, and you will see this, the third option from the bottom, we have the material. Yeah, it is our terminology only, material we want to share. Now click on this material, and then it will open a space for adding the material to your class. Let us say I want to add one PPT or PDF to my class. Now this is the dashboard. Let us try to understand what are the components of this very dashboard. It is very simple. First, you have to give the title of your material which you want to share with the student. It can be, you can give any title. For example, it is my case study. I want to share with the student. Give brief so that you can identify later on. And it is not the file name, it is your name of the content which you are sharing with it. It can be a video, anything, and anything can be there. And this is a description. It is optional, but you can define little bit 1 or 2 lines if you want, that what this material is. But it is totally option, you can skip this option. Okay, now you can see here we have to add the material. We have to add our files or whatever material we have. Now the moment I will click on this add button, see here, I'm clicking on the add button. There are 4 options available for me to add the material. Because it is not always that you add the file. There can be other forms of the material which you want to share with the students. So all 4 options are available. I will talk about these options one by one. First, we have the file option, which mostly we are using. File is there, on your desktop, any file is available, you want to share it with the students. So most of the time I will use this option. click on file, and yes, it will give me option to select the file from my desktop. Select the file from your device, click on this one. So you have to just browse. You have to just browse where that file is right now, and you can just see here. I have number of, you can say, files here. I can just search for which file is there, and this file will be added here. But it is not uploaded. Let me click on this upload button, upload, and now this file will come to my Google Classroom, and you can see along with my title and with some sort of icon is there. And with the same thing, you want to add another form, another, let us say you want to share YouTube video. You want to say, okay, just watch this video, yeah? And then we will discuss it in the class when you will come back. Now you need not to go out from the Google Classroom. This option of adding the video is available within the Google Classroom itself. Click on YouTube, and yes, you will see YouTube is here, and I can just search for my topic which I want to share, and click on search, and it will list down all the videos available on a particular topic. You can see here all videos are available here. You have to just select the video or double click on the video, and that video will be added to your, again, class content. So we added the video. It is so easy to add the video. But in any case, if you have your own video, it is in the file form, then you can use the file option. But I will suggest you, please don't upload the direct videos on this one, because it will carry a lot of space. First upload your videos to the YouTube, and then from there add to this one. Then it's not carrying any space at our Google Classroom, because we have a limited space on Google Classroom. We have to save that space as well. Okay, so we have added the video, and another is the link. Another is the link. Link is any website, any link you want to share with the student. That link you can just enter here. I can open any blog here. Let us say we want to share the link of any of the blog article, any of the page. You just copy that link. You can see, copy the link from here and go back to your Google Classroom and paste this link here and add this link. And yes, your students will be able to view this link as well, right? So we have used 3 options. You can have the file, you can have the video, and you can have the link option. See here, my link is added to this one. Last option is the Google Drive. I think I think many of us might be knowing about Google Drive. Is just a cloud storage where we can save our files. If you have saved anything there and you want to use that file, just click on Google Drive, and whatever you have saved in your drive, that is also accessible from here, and you can directly share it with the students. You can see here, I'm just you have to just click on this one and see here, my file is added to this one. Okay, so now see here, by adding the material, we have used all the 4 options here, and we are making our topic, or we are adding the content. But as of now, Google, this Classroom doesn't know that in which topic you are going to put this material, whether it's related to topic 1, topic 2, or any other topic. Now, what you have to do, you can see here on my right hand side, we have all the topics that we have created. We have just created 2 topics. One is intro to, and just select which topic is relevant for this sort of material. I will say it is topic 1, done. Now it will not be posted as of now. You have to just post it. Click on this one, post. Click on post. And if today you don't want to post it, you want to schedule it for the future, you can schedule it for the future, that after 1 week it will be automatically posted there as well. But let me post right now in the real time. Now see here, it is posting, and I'm coming back to my dashboard of classwork, and just click on this one, and you see here all my material, all my files, links, or videos are available on this one. And the same thing will be visible to your students. They want to read it, they will just click on this one, and they will be able to open it in this form. Okay, now this was how we can add the material to the classes. But now, as of now, you might be thinking about that I'm talking about students, but where are the students? No student is there in this class. Now we have to, now I will explain it, how to add the students to this class. Now this one, again go back to stream, and this is the code that your students have to use. This is the code, right? Okay, you will share this code with the students, and you will ask them to go to the Google Classroom, and they have to enter they will open the same dashboard of plus sign where I showed you the plus sign, and they will click on the join the class. Click on join the class, and they will be in my class. They will be my students. Now what you have to do, you have to become the student of this very class, so that because the next activity that we have, it is based on that, yes, you are the student of this class. Now what I'm just talking about, you just open the Google Classroom and log into the Google Classroom and see here the plus button. Click on join the class, and it will ask from you to code. Just give this code, enter this code, and I'm sharing this code in the chat box as well, so that you can use it properly. I'm sharing it in the chat box as well. Okay, my chat will work, but anyhow, I'm just displaying it here. And please, I'm giving 1 or 2 minutes to you to join this class, because I want to show you that from the student side, how it will look like, how it will work, because that is another important point to understand. A student को कैसे दिखता है ये मेरी assignment, how it will be visible, my class, not assignment. So just log into, again I'm repeating it, go to Google Classroom or search for Google Classroom, click on this one, log in with your Gmail ID, and use the plus button, and just use this code, and you will be the part of my class. And as a teacher, I can see that how many people have joined this class at any stage. You can just note down, because I'm going to just cross it. You can note down it. I'm going to cross it. It is
I put in the group, sir. I have put
yeah,
the same
okay,
message
okay,
in the
ma'am.
group.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let me see. Now, important thing is, how do I know how many students have joined this class? Where are my students? You can see here is the people. At the top, we have the third option. We have the people. Click on people, and you can see in this class I have 3 students, right? And I want more to join it, so that you can see at the back end from the student side how these things will work. Okay, so in the meantime, you can keep on using this one, keep on just joining the class, and we will start the next one. Okay, now, but there is one problem in this code, that you have to be very careful in this code. When I'm showing you this code, there is one, because this code is now public. Your student may share it with anyone else, and they can be a part of your class as well. That may sometime create the problem for you. Okay? So now we have few more options to avoid this problem. Either you can disable this code. Let us say you ask your student, give 1 day to join the classes, and you can disable this code. That is one option. Or you can directly invite the students. You can see here, if you don't want to share this password with the students, just ask for their Gmail IDs. Just give this job to the CR of the class. Okay, give me the all mail IDs of your classroom. Yes, once you have the mail IDs, just click on this plus button. Click on this plus button, and just paste all the mail IDs here. And it will send the invitation to your students only, not others. Only with these mail IDs, they will be able to join your class. And add the mail ID here. Let me, for example, I'm just adding one mail ID here, this one, and send the invite. Send the invite, and this invitation will go to the students, and they will accept it, and they will be the part of this very class here. Done. And this is the second way to avoid that problem of that unwanted students are not entering to my class. And another important thing here under the people tab, that if one class is shared by 2 teachers or more than 2 teachers, then you can add the teachers here as well. Each teacher need not to create a separate class. You will just invite the teacher and type the email ID here and invite. And once he will accept it, he has the full rights of this class. He can add, delete, create the quizzes, assignment in this very class only. So it will simultaneously perfectly work for 2 or more than 2 teachers as well. Okay, so I can see here we have a good number of students are already here in my classroom, and I think those who are just attending this webinar from mobile phones, they will not be able to switch between their webinar and the classroom. They can just see what I'm doing here. Okay, let us again go back to the classwork. Okay, so we have created, I think at the back end you will be able to see whatever I have material put here. Okay, now the another important task here, or the another important activity which we can do here, it is the assignments. I think we all love assignments, especially as a teacher, but not as a students. So we have to now create the assignments for the students. As I said, you can do it within the class only. So this one's here, create. Again, I will go to the create and click on assignment. The very first option we have the assignment. It will help us to create the assignments. So assignment can be in any form. It is up to you that it's a project. It is they have to summarize something. They have to just record something. It is depending upon your domain in which you are working for. Right? I'm saying that it is my give the title of that assignment. It is my assignment first, and let us say it is related to my BTL activities. Any title you can say. Here you have to give the instructions. What the students have to do. Yes, I can say prepare collected data. Here, collected data, review one paper, read one article, and summarize this article. The way we are assigning, giving the assignments to the students, or prepare a note on this very you can say topic here. This is one thing. What is this ad? What this ad is doing here? Now see, this ad will can be used for if you want to supplement anything with the assignment. I will say watch this video and comment on this video. But where is that video? I will add it from here. Meaning along with the assignment, if you want to add anything, again we have these four options are here. Now whatever you will add here, that will go along with the assignment for the students. Now let me just give the instruction here that upload any file here. Okay, so this is my okay, so we have these options here. Okay, now come to this side, come to the right hand side of this one. Now you can assign the point. The very first thing is assign the points. Let it be 100. It will automatically you can say proportionately calculated. Let it be 100. And if you want to make it unmarked, that is also possible. But I think we know that making any assignment unmarked is not assignment. Students won't go for this one. So always make it, link it with their assessment with some parts. Okay, then you can set the due date, by which date they are able to submit it. So you can just select the date and time, and this system will automatically close down. They will not be able to submit after this date and time which you have set here. Okay, so I'm setting this another date here. You can do it. Now, what is this one? Topic or no topic? Now, what is this one? You see, in our classes, few assignments can be general assignment, not directly linked with the topic, but few assignments can be linked with the topic. That this assignment is relevant to this very topic. If you want to do that one, you can select the topic. That this assignment is related to my topic too. Select that topic. Otherwise, leave it as it is. It will appear at the top. Okay, so you can see here everything is okay. We have written down, and you can see somewhere in the rubric. I will talk about this rubric, but first let us see assess the assignment without the rubrics. I think my colleagues from education field they might be knowing about that, what the relevance of the rubric in the assessment part. But as of now, I'm not touching this one. I will show it to once we will complete it. Okay, so everything is okay. Now, what I'm expecting from you. Now, those who have just entered in this class by using that code, what they have to do, within a moment they will see the assignment in their dashboard. They have to upload any file so that I can show you the evaluation process. They have to upload any file, not any work, or you can have a Word file, type 1 or 2 lines and submit it here. But I have to assign it. I have to assign first so that it is visible to the students. And same way, if today I don't want to assign it, today I prepared it, but I want in the next week it should be visible to the students, then you can schedule it from here for any date and time. And this date and time, this will be visible to the student. But let me assign it right now because I want this assignment back from the students. So it is assigning, and you will see it is there in my second topic, which I assigned here. If I will little bit expand it, and you will see here something here, 0 and 25. Now, what does it mean? Handed in means that how many students have submitted. You can every day you can check it. How many students have submitted and how many students are yet to submit your assignment here. Now, what I want from your side is just go to your dashboard and you will be able to see under the stream, and you can see this message is automatically created that I have I have just uploaded one assignment for you. Click on this one and you will be able to open this assignment in your dashboard. Somewhere you will find the upload the file or attach the file. Just upload the file from there and turn it on, turn it on so that you can able to submit the assignment to me. I think I am giving simple process. You just open this one, upload the file. You will find few options there, upload the file, and just attach the file and send it back to me. By turn on, you will find that option here. And you can see as a teacher, I will be able to see at my end that whether any students have uploaded the assignment or not before the due date. So please don't wait for due date. It is just upload it right now so that I can start the evaluation. I can show you the evaluation process, that how easy it is to evaluate the assignments within the Google Classroom, right? So even if I will get 1 or 2 assignments, to upload any page, any PPT, whatever you want, you can just upload on this one. But as of now, I can see take your time. It will, and we can realize how difficult it is to submit the assignment from the student sides. Okay, I am waiting for your assignments because I want to show you the assessment part. Okay, just take at least submit 1 or 2, and you will be able to understand the evaluation process from my end. Okay. Okay. Now you can see here. I'm happy to see that I have got 2 assignments. You can look at my now this dashboard. It is a teacher dashboard. Same way you will able to see this one. And now you can see I can see that 3 students have submitted the assignments. Now others keep on uploading, and I will show you the evaluation process. Now what do you have to do? Just click on this. The 3 people have submitted. Click on this 3. And it will open this sort of window here, this sort of window. And here you can see names of all the students, student work, and this particular assignment 3 have handed in 24. Now, whenever you will see this icon, this folded icon with some sort of color here, and you will be able to see that some attachment is there. I can see 3, 4 attachments are here with this very, for this very assignment. Now, what you have to do when you have to evaluate these assignments, right? So click on the assignment, double click on this assignment. It will take you to the evaluation window of this assignment. Now see here, I will be able to see the assignment submitted by Naveen. This is what I have in the assignment form. Okay, now when we are evaluating the assignments, what is our focus? We majorly do the 2 things. First thing, that we underline something, we write the comments. And the last thing is that we evaluate, we give the grades. Now 2 things are possible here that we can do here. Now see here, you have to, let us, I am reading this assignment here. Let me just see here. I am just selecting this part, right, of this assignment. And the moment I'm selecting this part, the window is automatically opened here to write a comments. I can write from my side, whether it's okay, not okay, fine, yeah, any suggestion from my side. Now, whatever I will comment here, that will be visible to my students. When they will open this assignment, they will see the highlighted part, as well as they will see what I have commented upon this one. So this way it will make it more useful. So what you have to use this button comment, add a comment, and just select this part where you want to add the comment, and the space will automatically be there. I can say revise it, okay? Or revise it, or add on this one and write the comment on this one. Okay, so this comment will also be visible to my students. And for your reference, you want to save it, download, you can download it, but I don't see any use of downloading it because it is already saved in my drive. You want to print it, you can get the print of this one. Once your assignment is evaluated, and you can come to this side and you can just give the grades or marks to the student. Let us say I will say the 80 marks to the student in this one. And if anything still other than the assignment, any general comments you want to add, you can add that comment as well for the students. Yeah, it's like keep it up like this one. Any general comment you can also add on this one. So this evaluation window, we have to do the 3 tasks here. First, we have to write the comments. You can write the comments using this window, this plus sign. Second thing, we have to grade. And third thing, if any a private comment or any general comment you want to make, you can make this comment to the students, and you can click on this post. Now, once I'm sure that I have evaluated it, I have evaluated the assignment, you have to return back this assignment to the student. Again, we are using a teacher's terminology. We have to give it back to the student. So just you can click on return and make sure, double check that okay, marks are okay, everything is okay, and click on return. Now this assignment will go back to the student in their dashboard, and then they will be able to see what are my grades, any comment is there or not. They will be able to see it. And I can see here, you can see here I have the complete track of this one that I have marked. I have just one marked assignment I returned back. Which one? This one. And how many are you can say handed in? This one. So it will keep on reducing. Any evaluation you will send it back to the student. Now see here how much time it is saving, how much paper it is saving this process, and everything is happening in the virtual mode only. Nothing वो बड़े-बड़े assignments के ढेर हैं, ठीक है, आपके सामने खड़ा रहता है CR, ठीक है, कई बार मेरे को भी नहीं पता चलता कि assignments कहाँ रख दी हैं मैंने, ठीक है, कहाँ पे पड़ी हैं, ठीक है. Here everything is safe and everything is recorded, and your students are getting the results in the real time, and the feedback is in the real time. I will show you if any teacher is having you can say they just find it difficult to write it or type it, then we have the option to just voice comments as well. I can speak, that audio will go to the student and they will be able to listen the studio. That option is also available. ठीक है, तो अगर हमने assignment में डांटना भी है किसी को, so we can just record हमारी डांट और वो डांट भी उसको चले जाएगी बच्चे को, ठीक है. That is also possible here. Okay, so
that is more relevant. That is more relevant here.
Yes, as a teacher, that is more relevant because sometimes I can't express myself in words. It is better to express in the audio form. That go again back to the students. Okay, so this was the process of. Let me just go back to my this class, and I'm back here. And now let's see in the classwork what we have completed. In the classwork, we have completed assignment. We have evaluated the assignments, and we have created the topics, and we have material added. And now let us come to the quiz assignment. This is just a quick assessment of the students. You can create the quick quizzes for the students and create the quizzes in such way that they have to read something. Otherwise, they can search on internet and then they will be able to answer it. Just create the quizzes, just provide the supplement material, just read it, and then you will be able to answer these quizzes. Because our purpose is just to make them habitual to the reading. So now let us see how to do it. Quiz creation. Click on this quiz assignment. Let me click on this one. And again, we are back to that same sort of dashboard which we used for assignments, that we used for you can say material. Same assignment, the same dashboard is here. Okay, so give the title to this one. The very first thing, this is my quiz 1, and give the instruction. Okay, read this paragraph, read this paper, read this blog if you want. Otherwise, if you are okay with only questions, then you can just leave it blank. And anything you want to add with this one, you can add it from here. You can add the video, okay, watch this video and answer these questions. Now, but question, how to create that quiz? You can see automatically. I haven't created. This quiz is automatically created here. It is a blank quiz. I have to just enter the questions here. Let me just click on this one. It will open a new window for you, and you will see here. Now I will create my multiple type questions here. First of all, let us change the name of this one. You can just keep it quiz 1, and even here you can just write the quiz 1. Quiz 1. Okay, this is our first question. This is untitled question. Just click on this one, and it will create a space for writing the question. For example, for simplicity, what is capital of Punjab? Like this one. Okay, so here you have to add the options. Click on my first option. Let us say Chandigarh. I will be brief, okay, so that Chandigarh is there, Jaipur is there, any Mumbai is there. 4 options. Any Delhi is there, like this one. Right? So we added the 4 options. You can add more than 4 options here. But at this moment, we have to you can say we have to mark the correct option as well, so that it automatically get graded. So for this one, we have this answer key here. Click on this answer key, and you have to just select the right option here. Select the correct option, and how many points you want to assign. Let us say 1 point I want to assign for this one, and click on done. Even if you want to make it more enriched, you can add the answer feedback from here. That if it is incorrect, why it is incorrect. If the correct answer, why it is a correct answer. Okay? You can supplementary material, you can add it to make the quiz more rich. It will be available to the students once they will attempt it. Okay, but as of now, let me just cancel it and click on done. And see here, my first question is ready. And same way from here, from this plus button, and you will be able to see, you will be able to add the second question. So keep on adding the questions on this part, and once it is ready, and make it required, make it compulsory. This is a required option. Make it compulsory on this one. And okay, once it is ready, you need not to click anywhere. It is automatically saved. You need not to save it. You need not to share it. It is. I will come back here. It is already saved here. It is saved here. The moment I will sign, it will be visible to my students. But before that, I have to give the due date. So keep the due date very short, because it's a quiz type. And just click on this, let us say on 8th, and when they will be able to submit it, I have just given the time, and click on the sign. See here. Now my quiz 1 will be, you can say, going live to the students. But you see here, now this time my quiz is here at the top. Why it is at the top? Because I didn't select any topic. But if you forget to select the topic, don't worry. You can just drag and drop to the any topic. It will be part of that very topic here. Now it's a part of my topic 1. Yeah. Now you can see, even I can see here how many people are attempting this one. You can say 1 people have already answered it, and it has been assigned to all 26, 27 students there. Right? And they will be able to see it, submit it here, and everything is recorded. It is being recorded, assessed at the back end. Means when I have to prepare my final assessment, I need not to worry about calculations, assignment ke marks kitne hain, quiz ke marks kitne hain. Need not to worry about. You have to just, if I know the print command, I have to give the print command over it, because it is already captured everything here. Now let me show you this part, marks part. And whatever assessment evaluation you will do here, it will go for each of the student here. You can see for the quiz, for the assignment, and number of quizzes and assignment, it will keep on, you can say, displaying all the marks here. And these marks will be visible to the students as well. It is your discretion where you want to open it to the students or not. And any when you want to modify, you want to edit the marks here, that can also be possible here. You can return, view submission. So it is about your mark sheet for the students, and this is about the people. Yes, you want to remove any student, anything you want, that you can do it from here, right? So we let me again come back to the classwork here, so that I can show you the last point here, which is our create under let me just see. Okay, yes, another option is, again I just forget to mention, you can reuse any post of any previous class created by you, because sometimes we have the same subject for two different classes, and so I want to use the same post from my all other classes for this very class. So you can just click on the reuse post, and it will list down all your classes which you have previously created, all the classes here, and from that very class you can just select which portion you want to reuse. I want to reuse this material from my previous classes, and yes, it is added to this very class. You can see here it is my added, and let me just post it here, and yes, it is added to the my class. So easy, because so easy here. That way I can just add on. Just you have to just change that little bit topic, rename it, whatever topic you want to make it, you can just rename it. So everything is there in our cloud. We are the master of this class. It is our property. The way we want to use it, we can use it for the future classes. It is one time investment. I always say it is a one time investment. Just create the course once. It is forever. It is forever. No photocopy, no printing, nothing is there. Your student will automatically access this material when you will make these posts live. Okay, now I will go to the last thing here. That is the rubric. Rubric is very important kind of thing here in the assessment part. Let me just first try to understand कि rubric होता क्या है. What is a rubric? Now, see here, when you might have noticed that if there is any descriptive assignment, the students usually come back to you when you evaluate these assignments. Even our exams, yeah, when we evaluate something, they usually student, कईयों को तो आदत ही होती है, they usually come back, मेरे मैम मार्क्स कम लगे हैं, कि मेरे को बता सकते हो क्यों कम लगे हैं. अब ये देखिए, उस टाइम पे मैं 100 बच्चों के पेपर वैल्यूएट कर रहा हूँ, जिस टाइम पे आई वाज जस्ट एवेल्युएटिंग दैट स्पेसिफिक पेपर, मेरे माइंड में क्या चल रहा था उस टाइम पे, इट्स नॉट इजी फॉर मी टू रिकॉल कि मैंने यार 10 में से 2 नंबर क्यों दिए, इसको 10 में से 5 क्यों दिए. वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू रिकॉल फॉर मी. एंड मोर ओवर हम बच्चों को कहते हैं आपने ये नहीं ऐड किया था, इसमें ये नहीं लिखा था, आपने असाइनमेंट में आपको ये लिखना चाहिए था. तो बच्चा कहता है बेचारा, सर मेरे को पहले बता देते कि ये चीजें लिखनी चाहिए थी, so that I can prepare my assignment accordingly. Means के sometimes when we give the assignment to the students, we don't share our expectations that what should be covered in the students in the assignment. If you cover up only this one, you will get this mark. If you cover this one, you will get the excellent mark. We are not sharing our expectations with the students. And when students come back to us, then we start saying, okay, आपने ये नहीं ऐड किया, आपको ये करना चाहिए था. बच्चा बेचारा क्या करे, बच्चा तो यही कहेगा ना कि सर पहले बता देते. हालांकि नहीं कहते बच्चे, बट उसके माइंड में तो यही होता है ना कि आप पहले बता देते, so that I would have added all these things. Now rubric is used for descriptive, you can say, assessment, where we share our expectations with the students, and then accordingly students prepare the assignments on those parameters, and then they submit it back. And when we evaluate those assignments, we evaluate on those parameters only. It is a very quantifiable kind of thing. अगर आपने ये नहीं लिखा तो आपको इतने नंबर मिलेंगे, अगर ये लिखा है तो इतने नंबर लिखेंगे, ठीक है? So that way we can use this rubric here. Let me show you one example of rubric so that you can understand it clearly what I want to say here. Let me just open my file, one rubric file here. Just give me 1 minute. Let me just give me just 1 minute. Yes. Okay, now this is my rubric. Now it is for any practical project evaluation. So in this case, when you will create the rubric, what you have to identify, first of all, two things you have to identify. One is the criteria on which you will evaluate, and second is the rating scale, that excellent, good, average, acceptable or unacceptable. So what you have to do, when any assignment, you have to break your assignment into different criteria, that these are the parameters on which I am going to evaluate. For example, अब क्लास में presentation हो रही है, तो उसकी body language क्या है, that can be one parameter. Visibility of slides क्या है, that can be another parameters. So you have to just break your assignment or segment your assignment into different criteria. Now see here, this is a research project. The first criteria is कि उसकी problem identification कैसी है. Second is about कि उसने literature review किया है या नहीं किया. Second is one. And on this side we have the parameters. I will say excellent and I will assign 5 marks if this description is fulfilling. If he is covering everything under this one, this is called, you can say, description of our criteria. So you have to describe, and I will share it with the students. Now students are very alert in this case. Okay, I will get the excellent mark in this one if I will cover these things. I will only get the good if my assignment is this one. I will get a very average marks or very unacceptable if my assignment will look like this one. So from each criteria you have to define this one, right? So it is if it is new for you, you can just think about and just have a copy of this one and start thinking on these parameters. And in this one, when it will come to when I will evaluate it in the Google Classroom, I have to just select this button, excellent, and marks will be automatically added. I have to select this button, marks will be automatically added here. So I think we have the time and I can show you that how to create it in this Google Classroom. So firstly, let me just, it is our rubric assignment and a few instructions you can give it here. And now we will come back to the rubric. It is highlighted now. Click on this rubric. But before you have to prepare a matrix like this one, where scale and criteria is defined and a description of each criteria is given here. Let us go back to this one. Click on rubric. Click on rubric and create a new rubric. Click on this one. And now see there, same terminology, just it is not a very complicated one, very simple one. First is my criterion title. Criterion title is, what is this one? You can say here, this is my, this one. This is my criterion title and I will just place it here, right? Done. And how many points are there? You can just give the points. Let us say it is for 5. And what is the level title? Level title is my excellent. Level title is my excellent. You have to just give this one excellent. Okay, this is my first. Now click on add and it is for the second one. Second ke liye 4 hai. What is the level title? Is good. And this is description. Description mein aayega this part. This part will come to the description. So don't worry, don't get confused this one, right? So I'm just showing it. You will be able to learn it. You will be able to learn it once you will do it. And you will keep on this criterion on this side, And when will be the second criteria? This one. Then I will click on this one, add criteria, and now space for the second criteria. Now see, once it will be done, it is very easy. The same way I will assign it to the students. And let me just save it. Same way I will assign it to the students. And I will open the evaluation window. And in evaluation window, it will show me, it is on this parameter, it is excellent, poor, good. Depending upon the performance, I have to just select that option. Good, poor, and accordingly it will be, you can say, marked there. So this was the rubric. Just try for this one, but still if you have any problem, so I will share one link with you, and the full description of this rubric is available on that video that I have created. So you can easily understand from there as well. But for initial stages, just start working with the simple assignments without rubric. Yeah, the more you will get the experience, and then you will you can use this rubric option as well. Okay, now a few more things about this Google Classroom. At one point of time, I said that you can disable the code. Disable the code. At any stage you want to disable the code, just click on this one, assignment settings, And you can change the name of the class, section, session, everything. And this is the class code. In the journal section, we have the class code, and you can just reset it. You can disable it. You can just copy, and other options are available, right? So these options are available at any time. And few more general options are there, whether they can comment or not. You can explore those settings as well. But I think if I learn this much, then I'm ready to go with the LMS. I can easily implement with the LMS, and I suggest you that from the next session, just create your all the classes in this Google Classroom, and then try to share it with the students. Okay? And last thing, please create a separate mail ID for the Google Classroom, because we have only 15 GB space which is allocated to us. And if you will start creating this Google Classroom with your main Gmail ID, so easy, it will very soon, it will go exhausted and you will not be able to receive your mail. So keep separate your personal ID and create a separate mail ID for the Google Classroom, so that we have the sufficient place. And 15 GB is more than sufficient, but don't club it with our personal ID. That one is there. Okay, now another question which comes here, that just students mostly ask, teachers mostly ask, that can we, you can say, create live classes here in the Google Classroom? Can I inform the students about my live classes the way we are now conducting the class? Yes, that is possible with the Google Meet. Google Meet is a product of this Google only. And you have this, for this one, if you want to organize a meeting, you want to just host a meeting or a class in the online form, just click on this Google Calendar. Click on this Google Calendar, and yes, it will open my Google Calendar as it is a part of the Google only. See here, when you want to take a class live, just click on this create. Click on this create button, and you have to create an event. Event is there, and here is the title of the class. Let us say I want to take a class on Google Analytics, right? And from here, set the time and date, on which date you want to take the class. Let us say on 9th June, I want to take the class. At what time, that you can set from here. Now, just click on this one. You can see here, add Google Meet video conferencing. Click on this one, add Google Meet video conferencing. Yes, now my meeting is scheduled. And what you have to do, you have to just copy this code. Just copy this code, or you can just click on this copy meeting link, click here, and come back to your classroom. And here you can go to the stream and click here, that our next class will be held on such and such date. And this is the link for the class, and post it. And yes, students, they have to just click on this one. And from this end, you will be able to just allow them to be a part of this class. And yes, for the up to 100 classes with unlimited period, there is no limitation of period as of now. I think with the November, December, Google is not going to put any restriction on this period. You can conduct your classes as well, right? And Google, I have experience of using the Google Meet. Yes, it is good for the classroom classes. It is perfectly fine. You can use it. Okay, so this was about Google Classroom, and let me now go to the chat box so that we can have some sort of
So we have
questions.
two queries.
Yes, let me just, chat is not able to see the chat. First, let me just stop sharing. Then I think I will be able to see the chat.
Let me help you.
If ma'am, you have any specific question, if you have noted down.
Yes, sir. So there is one query. Can we send assignments as multiple questions?
Yes, ma'am, that is the quiz. That is the quiz only. You have to create the quiz for that.
And there is one more query. Can we edit the case study?
Can you edit the case study at your own end?
Yeah. As a teacher, can we edit the case study? For example, we have given some assignment. So I think what I get from this question is they just want, can we edit once it has been assigned? So can we edit it
Yes,
again?
yes. You can assign. Once it is assigned, you can edit it at any time. You can add something more, you can delete something more. But I think pre-plan this one so that there is no need for editing.
No,
Otherwise, students will be confused.
Okay.
That what is there.
There's one query from Mandeep, or if we want to change the evaluation marks in second time. Okay. Can we change the marks, sir, after evaluation?
Yes, yes. There is an option. Once you will grade these assignments, even after that, you want to change the marks, you can change it. You can edit it. That option is available.
Okay.
Because sometimes your student may raise a query and you are satisfied with this one. Yes,
Okay.
in the final list, we can change it.
Okay, so sir, we need to go to the same place where we did the evaluation thing done. From
So
where?
you can go to the marks window. There is a marks tab,
Okay.
and names of all the students along with their marks are there, and you can edit from there.
Sir, another query is voice message कैसे add करना है? Sir, वो everyone wants to, you know, डांटने वाला दिल कर रहा है बहुत ज़्यादा. So how to do that?
Okay, okay. Let me share my screen first,
Yes.
so that I can show you.
Yeah, please.
बच्चों को डांटना कैसे है? Let me just go to classwork, and this was an assignment, I think. On this one. Okay, I'm again same here in this one. Okay. Now same, I will click on this plus button and I will highlight this part, and I will be able to okay, you can see in my case, you can see this symbol is here. This is called the motto. This motto is here. What you have to, it is add-on. It is just a Google extension. It is
Okay.
Google extension that you have to add to the Chrome. From the Chrome store, I can just show you. I can show you that it is Chrome store. Just go to the Chrome store. This one, Chrome Web Store. Click on this one and search for Moto. Search for Moto extension. Let me see whether it is available. Okay, you can see here at not a Moto, it is a mode. It is something, I'm right. Pronunciation, it's a MOTE, mode.
MOTE, okay.
Mode. It's a mode. This one, this extension, I have already added. In your case, you have to click on Add to Chrome.
Add to Chrome. Okay.
And it will appear here at the top. And when I'm evaluating the assignments, you can see here, this icon is here. It will appear when I'm saying the private comments.
Okay.
You will see here, this is also available here. What I have to do, I have to just click on this one, and I have to just sign into this login with my again Gmail ID, and I can speak and I can rant to the students, right?
Okay.
So it is easy, yeah? Because I have logged out from this one, but it is easy.
Okay.
And up to 90 seconds.
Okay.
क्योंकि मैंने ये भी ध्यान रखा हुआ है कि आप ज़्यादा ना डाल दो. Up to 90 seconds you can just record your audio, and it will also be typed. It will also be typed.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. I think all of us, we are going to like it a lot. And sir, one good thing is that this is a private comment. So whatever if we are scolding one person, the other class will not come to know what we have done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So in a way, it's privacy बेइज्जती ज़्यादा नहीं होगी.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so that's a wonderful feature, sir. Thank you.
You just install this mode and you will start working on this one.
Okay. And sir, another query from Ravneet is, can we put time limit to complete the assignment?
Time limit, I think in the if it is a descriptive subjective assignment,
Yeah.
Then it's a always time, you can say give the date and others, but I can understand from the question that you want to say once you will open write a quiz,
Yes.
then within 15 seconds or within you can say 1 minute or 5 minutes you have to complete it. Yeah. So for this purpose, yes, this option is available, not in the original Google form. Again, you have to just install one plugin for this one. I can name that plugin. Let me just, because originally Google is not restricting the time limit in the in multiple type questions. But once I will go to Google Form, you can see. Let me just show you the name of that extension, and you can easily.
Add that.
Yeah, it's a Timify, TIMIFY.me. Timify me. This is the add-on which you have to add to the Google form, and from there you can limit it. If 15 minutes, once you open it, after 15 minutes, it will automatically be submitted.
Okay.
Or accordingly, you can so that student will not get the time to search from here and there. Only sufficient time. If they know the answer, then mark it. Otherwise, they have no time. You can use this. Yeah, you can use this add-on Timify for this purpose.
Okay, that's wonderful thing, sir, because many a time we don't know what kids are doing. We are assigning, we are putting it so much of effort, and children, they copy each and everything. They find the easy solution. They can search net or something. So timing is a good option. Thank you, sir.
Even in this one, if it is you go for a little bit the paid version of this one, you can even record the camera movements. Whether he's looking here and there, you can also record whether he's opening a new tab or not. So that will also be captured along with this one, and later on you can view it.
Let me see if there are any other queries. We have taken this.
If anyone wants to, you can unmute, Hannah. If any, yes.
Sir, if we want to give different assignments to different students, for example, if I have 4 topics and 40 students, so 10 students doing one topic, will that be possible, or it will go to the whole class only?
No, it is possible, ma'am. It is possible. Let me show you. That is why I was saying, just to let me know, and I will give you the solution for that.
Okay.
Yes, this is the problem. There's sometimes it's a group assignment you are talking about.
Yes.
It is there. Let me just go back to our classroom where it is possible. You see here when I am just creating the assignments. See here, I'm creating one assignment here. And you see here, when everything is there, you can see the list of the students here. And on my right hand side, you can see here, all the students is here. If it is checked on all the students, it will go to all the students. If you have a particular group, just select only those students. Then this assignment will go to only those students which you have selected from here. For example, I am selecting this one, 3 students, right? So this assignment now will go to this very group only. Then I can create a new assignment, and then it will go to this group. New assignment to this group. That is possible.
Wonderful. And sir, another query is from Madhavi ma'am. She's a zoology teacher. So she's asked, can we draw the diagrams?
Okay. I think you wait for the second session, then I will show you.
Very, very nice.
Because in this one, we haven't talked about any drawing or content. Yes, that option is available.
Okay, sir. Then we have some very good comments for you, sir. Very informative session, great learning, obliged, very informative session. Okay, sir, can you spell the extensions? So, sir, what we can do, we share these extensions which you have add-ins, you have mentioned in the chat window, or you can share with me so that I can share with everybody.
Sure.
Yeah, because we would like, and especially since everyone has liked the Dantne Wala extension. So, and one thing more, sir, can we work in Gurmukhi script?
Gurmukhi script as far as our it means what form?
I think what I get from let me take this question, just lead. We can do like if we are creating some content in the Google Slides, then we can get one Gurmukhi script option, that is an add-in which we can add. So I can help you for that. You can get that extension. Like,
Okay, if you are able to see my screen now,
yeah, sir.
are you
Yeah.
able to see something?
Yes, yes, yes. It is there.
If there, we can do it.
Yeah,
Right? Okay.
it is there.
It is there, but you have to
Ye-
make some settings in your computer
Yes.
system itself.
We need to add, yeah, we have to change the language from
Language
English
of-
to Gurmukhi.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think, any more questions? Let me see, sir. There are two more questions. Valuable session, enlightening sessions. We are enlightened, sir. Any
Thank
more
you so
queries?
much.
So, okay, what we can do, if we have some more queries, we can go for a quick cup of tea and come back for the second session. So I believe that this is totally win-win situation for teachers and students, and because it is saving time, energy, money, and it is effective and efficient. Thank you so much, sir. Dear friends, let's take a short and quick and little quick break so that we are back again.
So, ma'am, at what time we are planning?
Sir, we'll start exactly at 12.
12, right, ma'am, right.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, everyone.
So I think you need not to log out, Hana? You can
Yes,
continue
yeah,
from here.
everyone. Yeah,
Otherwise-
you need not log out. Just you can fetch a cup of tea and then we can see each other face also. There's no issue at all.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, okay.